My name is Yvonne DeYoung, and I'm here with my uncle, Kenneth Stanway. We brought in a family heirloom that was passed down many generations to my uncle. It's a 17th century pocket watch bestowed to his great-great-grandfather, Joseph Frederick Wallet de Bars. It was given to him from Colonel Wolfe's mother, sent from England many years ago.
Midway through the 7 Years' War, General James Wolfe took command of the British Army as it prepared to invade Quebec City. A career soldier from the age of 14, Wolfe was already a successful leader in the British Army, earning high praise for his cutting-edge tactical theories and firing techniques. The confident young officer was exactly what the British needed to overcome French defences in their quest for imperial dominance. On September 13, 1759, the general and his men initiated a surprise attack on Quebec's Plains of Abraham. Although the battle cost Wolfe his life, the path he carved toward Britain's victory would lead to the surrender of New France and the founding of Canada under British rule.
Could you share with us about what it was like the day when you were young, when you found all these things up in the attic in the house at DeBar Manor?
One day, I went up there and I looked and see the watch was all in the box. And then there was a box there, and I opened that up and had a red coat in it. And then you had the sword there. Well, one year I put the coat on and I got the sword on, and I was on a horseback going through the town. And we made up I wasn't quite sure what kind of hat General Wolfe had on, but we made one up, and I had that on. My Aunt Letty made it. I wish I had brought the picture and I had the coat on and everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
A watch like this could weigh or cost up to 100 pounds in 1755 when he has it made. Timing now is critical to these military operations. So yeah, they would have been using this watch again to time the movements of troops. Again, like they know literally how long it takes them to get up the cliff and what time they're going to do things. So a watch and timings in regard to military operations is becoming more and more vital. So with that, again, in this nice little cabinet, this could have been, again, we know this came from England with the watch. The watch was in it. In the 18th century and into the early 19th century, a lot of people that own watches will actually sometimes keep them in these little cabinets. So the watch can be taken out, and at night, sometimes it's kept close by. Now, was this the cabinet that General Wolfe's watch was kept in? I'd say there's a pretty good chance of that. DeBar is originally a member of the 60th Royal Americans. So DeBar, when he goes to Louisbourg, initially he thinks he's going to be serving with his battalion, as does Samuel Holland. And with that, they become extraordinary sort of advocates in regard to the gathering of intelligence. DeBar catches the eye of General Wolfe very quickly in that he goes out at night and patrols in the forward areas and will sometimes bring in French prisoners, which is no small thing. And again, they'll question them and they get information. So DeBar is not only a cartographer, but he's a pretty handy intelligence officer as well. So he's a very well-rounded young gentleman and officer. So again, this is not lost on Wolfe. And Wolfe, prior to his being killed, had promised to make sure that DeBar's sort of promotions are well seen of. Again, this is a hallmark of General Wolfe's relationship with his subordinate and brother officers, is he always tries to make sure everybody gets the proper credit. Once you study General Wolfe and you start to read between the lines of who he is, you can't help but in some ways kind of admire him as a soldier. He is a kind of a bright light and will start a new way of kind of dealing with the Army and how the Army deals with its people. Captain Cook at Louisbourg is a commander of a supply ship. And one day after the siege is conducted, Samuel Holland is tasked with doing a map of the siege works and the camps and whatnot, a recorded record of the siege of Louisbourg. And this is where Cook sees Samuel Holland doing cartography on the beach at Kennington Cove where they landed. And so with that, this is how the great sort of recorder of the oceans and so much of the world, James Cook, this is where he learns to do coastal survey work, is by a chance encounter with Samuel Holland. And again, by 1759, Cook is quite active in that wing of the branch of the service with Bastide and Holland and your ancestor DeBar. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, DeBar, again, in his life after the war, he'll be a famous cartographer and does an amazing map that's as much a piece of art as it is a map, is J.W. DeBar's Atlantic Neptune map, which I'm sure you've seen over the years. And I mean, to look at that, it's just an extraordinary piece of cartography. Yes, I can't thank you enough, both of you, for bringing this in. And again, as someone who has worked on archaeology sites where General Wolfe has trudged around at Louisbourg, and having had the honor to look after his cloak for almost 5 years, this is a very significant thing as part of that storyline and my connection to General Wolfe. So again, many thanks for your coming in and sharing this story with us. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you
All the
very
best.
much. It
Okay,
was a
thank you, too.
pleasure.
Okay.
Thank you very much. For me, I feel an immense amount of peace inside myself that finally, the story of his great-great-grandfather, to which he's so proud of, that ancestry has kind of been told. And the association to Colonel Wolfe, obviously, is amazing.